Picture this. You wake up in the morning, check your blood sugar before breakfast, and the number staring back at you is higher than you'd hoped, even though you haven't eaten a single thing yet. Frustrating, isn't it? You're doing everything you've been told to do, but those numbers just won't cooperate. Now, what if I told you that part of the solution isn't hiding in expensive prescriptions, restrictive meal plans, or complicated fitness regimens, but in a simple leaf that's been quietly sitting in kitchens and herb gardens for generations? I'm Dr. Rachel Williams, and today I'm going to introduce you to 3 leaves that research suggests may genuinely support blood sugar management, cardiovascular health, and metabolic function, not through hype or miracle claims, but through compounds that work at the cellular level. These aren't exotic ingredients you need to special order from halfway across the world. These are accessible, affordable plant leaves that contain specific nutrients and bioactive compounds shown in clinical studies to influence insulin sensitivity, glucose absorption, and arterial health. Now, I want to be clear from the start. I'm not suggesting these leaves replace medical care, prescriptions, or the guidance you're receiving from your healthcare team. What I am suggesting is that understanding how certain foods work at the metabolic level can empower you to make informed choices that support your overall health strategy. The research on these leaves is genuinely fascinating. We're talking about compounds that influence how quickly glucose gets absorbed, how effectively insulin signals cells, and how well your vascular system manages inflammation and plaque formation. Before we explore these 3 leaves in detail, I'm curious about something. If you're comfortable sharing, tell me your first name and age in the comments below. It helps me understand who this information is serving, and it reminds all of us that managing metabolic health is a shared journey we're navigating together, no matter where we are in life. Now, while billions of dollars get spent annually on medications and interventions, many of which are absolutely necessary and life-saving, these humble leaves work quietly in the background, supporting your body's natural regulatory systems, improving how cells respond to insulin, reducing inflammatory processes that damage blood vessels, and helping stabilize glucose patterns throughout the day. What you're about to learn is grounded in published research, clinical observations, and traditional use patterns that span centuries across multiple cultures. This isn't about replacing science-based medicine. It's about understanding how specific plant compounds can complement and support the work your body is already trying to do. Let's start with the first leaf. Leaf 1, bay leaves. Most of us have used bay leaves in cooking at some point, tossed into soups, stews, or sauces to add depth and aromatic complexity. But very few people realize these common leaves contain a surprisingly dense concentration of nutrients and bioactive compounds that may influence metabolic health. Let me walk you through what's actually inside a bay leaf, because understanding the components helps explain why they might matter for blood sugar management. Protein content. Bay leaves contain approximately 1.8 grams of protein per 100 grams of dried leaf material. Now, you're not going to get massive amounts of protein from consuming small quantities of bay leaves, but plant proteins do play a subtle role in how your body manages glucose. Protein helps activate insulin receptors on cell surfaces, which improves how efficiently your cells pull glucose out of the bloodstream. Even small improvements in insulin receptor function can translate to measurably lower fasting glucose and calmer post-meal spikes over time. Carbohydrate profile. Bay leaves contain about 7.9 grams of carbohydrates per 100 grams, but here's what matters. They have a very low glycemic index, around 38. This means when you consume bay leaves, they don't trigger significant glucose elevations themselves. In fact, compounds within bay leaves appear to modulate how other foods you eat with them affect your blood sugar. Fiber content. This is where things get particularly interesting. Bay leaves contain approximately 26 grams of fiber per 100 grams, an extraordinarily high concentration. That fiber, especially the soluble fraction, slows glucose absorption in your digestive tract, which helps prevent the sharp post-meal spikes that damage blood vessels over time. Soluble fiber also feeds beneficial gut bacteria that play surprisingly important roles in glucose regulation and insulin sensitivity. Additionally, fiber has been shown in multiple studies to help lower LDL cholesterol by roughly 10 to 12%, which gives your cardiovascular system a meaningful protective advantage. Magnesium. Bay leaves provide about 120 milligrams of magnesium per 100 grams. This mineral is absolutely crucial for glucose metabolism, yet it's one of the most common deficiencies in people with diabetes. Magnesium helps muscles absorb and utilize glucose more effectively, supports hundreds of enzymatic reactions involved in energy metabolism, and has been shown in research to improve A1C levels by approximately 0.4 to 0.6 percentage points when deficiency is corrected. It also supports cardiovascular rhythm, kidney function, and nerve signaling. Vitamin A. At approximately 1,000 international units per 100 grams, the vitamin A in bay leaves acts as an antioxidant that helps protect nerve tissue from oxidative damage, one of the mechanisms behind diabetic neuropathy. It also supports healthy vision and improves how cells communicate with each other, which indirectly influences insulin sensitivity. Vitamin C. Bay leaves contain about 12 milligrams of vitamin C per 100 grams. Beyond its well-known immune support role, vitamin C improves the elasticity and function of arterial walls, reduces oxidative stress that damages endothelial cells, and has been associated with fasting blood sugar reductions of 10-15 milligrams DL when combined with other healthy habits like movement and adequate hydration. Iron. At 9 milligrams per 100 grams, the iron in bay leaves supports oxygen delivery to muscles and organs, which enhances metabolic efficiency and fat-burning capacity. Better oxygen delivery means your heart works more efficiently, your kidneys filter more effectively, and your muscles can utilize glucose more readily. Calcium. Bay leaves surprisingly contain about 500 milligrams of calcium per 100 grams. Calcium plays important roles beyond bone health. It helps maintain vascular tone and flexibility, supports proper insulin signaling, and contributes to healthy blood vessel function. Potassium. With approximately 1,000 milligrams per 100 grams, potassium helps balance sodium levels, supports healthy blood pressure, aids kidney filtration, and prevents fluid retention. Adequate potassium keeps arterial walls supple and reduces cardiovascular strain. Magnesium. Bay leaves provide about 120 milligrams of magnesium per 100 grams. This mineral is absolutely crucial for glucose metabolism, yet it's one of the most common deficiencies in people with diabetes. Magnesium helps muscles absorb and utilize glucose more effectively, supports hundreds of enzymatic reactions involved in energy metabolism, and has been shown in research to improve A1C levels by approximately 0.4 to 0.6 percentage points when deficiency is corrected. It also supports cardiovascular rhythm, kidney function, and nerve signaling. Manganese. At 2.3 milligrams per 100 grams, manganese activates antioxidant enzyme systems that protect your heart, liver, and kidneys from oxidative damage. It also plays direct roles in glucose metabolism and helps the body burn stored fat more efficiently. Beyond these individual nutrients, bay leaves contain polyphenols and flavonoids, plant compounds that act as powerful antioxidants. These compounds help reduce arterial plaque formation, lower LDL cholesterol, and activate cellular pathways, like AMPK, that improve how cells respond to insulin and utilize glucose. Research suggests these compounds may help reduce fasting glucose by 15 to 20 millihours DL and decrease post-meal spikes by approximately 15%. Bay leaves also contain essential oils, particularly eugenol and myrcene, that appear to enhance insulin receptor sensitivity, reduce inflammatory signaling, and have been associated with A1C reductions of 0.3–0.5% in some studies. These oils may also help reduce fat accumulation in the liver and improve glucose uptake in muscle tissue. Now, how do you actually use bay leaves in a practical way? Daily use. 1 to 2 dried bay leaves per day, typically steeped in hot water as tea or added to cooked foods. Excessive consumption can potentially cause digestive upset or mild liver stress from concentrated essential oils, so moderation matters. If you have kidney disease or known allergies to related plants, consult your healthcare provider before regular use. Bay leaf tea. Take 2 dried bay leaves and add them to 250 milliliters of water heated to about 80-degree Celsius, not boiling, which can degrade some beneficial compounds. Let steep for 10 minutes, then strain and drink warm. You can add a small amount of cinnamon for additional glucose-modulating benefits. Vegetable stew with bay leaves. Combine 1 cup each of carrots, zucchini, and tomatoes with 2 bay leaves, 2 teaspoons of olive oil, and 1 teaspoon of turmeric. Simmer at a gentle heat, around 90 degrees Celsius, for 30 minutes. The combination of fiber, antioxidants, and bay leaf compounds creates a meal that supports stable glucose and cardiovascular health. Bay leaf lemon chicken. Marinate 150 grams of chicken breast with 2 bay leaves, juice from half a lemon, 1 teaspoon of olive oil, minced garlic, salt, and pepper for 30 minutes. Bake at 180 degrees for about 25 minutes. The protein, vitamin C from lemon, and bay leaf compounds work synergistically to support insulin sensitivity. At the organ level, here's what bay leaves may support. Cardiovascular health through LDL reduction and improved arterial flexibility. Nerve protection through antioxidants that reduce neuropathy risk. Kidney function through balanced electrolytes and better filtration. Liver and metabolic health through activation of fat-burning pathways. Muscle glucose utilization, which helps manage both fasting and post-meal glucose levels. And eye health through carotenoids that reduce oxidative stress. The combination of all these factors, polyphenols, flavonoids, essential oils, fiber, minerals, creates multiple supportive mechanisms working simultaneously. Daily use alongside protein-rich foods and adequate fiber may help reduce fasting glucose by 10-20 mg/dl, decrease post-meal spikes by approximately 15%, and contribute to A1C reductions of 0.3–0.5% over time when combined with other healthy lifestyle factors. Leaf number 2, guava leaves. The second leaf might surprise you because while many people know guava fruit, far fewer realize that guava leaves contain an impressive array of compounds that influence glucose metabolism and vascular health. When you examine what's actually inside guava leaves, you start to understand why traditional medicine systems across multiple cultures have used them for metabolic support for centuries. Protein content. Dried guava leaves contain approximately 18.53 grams of protein per 100 grams of dry weight. While you're not consuming massive quantities of leaves, this plant protein supports muscle glucose uptake, meaning your muscles become more efficient at pulling sugar from your bloodstream. When muscles respond better to insulin signals, insulin resistance decreases, which can translate to meaningful reductions in fasting glucose and smoother post-meal glucose curves. Carbohydrate profile. Guava leaves contain roughly 12.74 grams of carbohydrates per 100 grams dry weight, but most of these are complex carbohydrates bound up with fiber, giving them an extremely low glycemic impact. When you consume guava leaf tea or preparations, your body doesn't experience any glucose surge. Instead, certain compounds in the leaves actually slow how quickly glucose from other foods gets absorbed, keeping blood sugar more stable and reducing long-term A1C elevation. Fiber content. At approximately 5.41 grams per 100 grams dry weight, the fiber in guava leaves acts like a regulatory mechanism in your digestive system. It slows glucose absorption so your blood sugar doesn't spike sharply after meals. This gradual, controlled glucose entry protects blood vessels from damage and supports beneficial gut bacteria that play roles in insulin sensitivity, meaning your body doesn't need to produce as much insulin just to maintain stable glucose levels. Antioxidant profile. This is where guava leaves truly stand out. They contain extraordinarily high levels of polyphenols and flavonoids, particularly quercetin and gallic acid, with total polyphenol content reaching approximately 1 to 700 milliliters per 100 grams of dried leaf. These compounds function like microscopic defenders that neutralize free radicals and reduce oxidative stress inside your arteries. Since oxidative stress is one of the primary drivers of arterial inflammation and plaque accumulation, reducing it helps blood vessels remain more flexible and resilient, which naturally supports healthy blood pressure and reduces the oxidation of LDL cholesterol that contributes to arterial blockages. Vitamin C. Guava leaves contain approximately 142.55 milligrams of vitamin C per 100 grams, a remarkably high concentration. Beyond immune support, vitamin C directly supports endothelial function, which means the cells lining your arteries can relax and expand more effectively. This improves blood flow, reduces the workload on your heart, and decreases the risk of cardiovascular events. People who consume guava leaf preparations regularly often show improvements in vascular function markers and reduced cholesterol oxidation. Potassium. At approximately 1.11% potassium content, guava leaves provide this essential mineral that helps regulate blood pressure, balance sodium levels, and support kidney filtration. When potassium levels are adequate, blood vessels don't constrict as aggressively. Your heart doesn't work as hard, and your overall cardiovascular system experiences less chronic stress. Calcium and phosphorus. The calcium in guava leaves supports smooth muscle function in blood vessel walls, helping them contract and relax appropriately rather than becoming stiff and dysfunctional, a common problem when high glucose levels damage vascular tissue over time. What makes guava leaves particularly interesting from a metabolic standpoint is how their bioactive compounds influence glucose regulation at the cellular level. Research suggests these compounds activate signaling pathways that improve how cells respond to insulin, which means your liver produces less excess glucose and your muscles utilize it more efficiently. This translates to lower fasting blood glucose readings, fewer dramatic spikes after meals, and gradual improvements in A1C without requiring extreme dietary restrictions or additional medications. Guava leaves also appear to influence lipid metabolism in meaningful ways. Studies show that regular consumption of guava leaf preparations can reduce total cholesterol, triglycerides, and harmful LDL levels while increasing protective HDL cholesterol. This creates a healthier overall lipid balance and helps clear existing arterial plaque rather than allowing it to continue accumulating. At the organ level, the benefits extend across multiple systems. Your heart experiences reduced cardiovascular risk through better lipid profiles and lower oxidative stress. Your kidneys face less strain because better glucose control and blood pressure management protect those delicate filtering structures. Your nerves benefit from antioxidants and stable glucose that reduce the oxidative damage leading to neuropathy. Even your liver gets relief because improved insulin sensitivity reduces fat accumulation and inflammatory stress in liver cells. Now, let me share some practical ways to incorporate guava leaves into your routine. Guava leaf tea. Take 4 fresh or dried guava leaves and place them in 500 ml of water heated to about 90 degrees Celsius. Let them steep for 10 minutes, then strain and drink warm. Consuming this before breakfast or before a carbohydrate-rich meal may help flatten your post-meal glucose curve throughout the day. Guava leaf infusion with lemon and cinnamon. Bring 4 guava leaves and 500 ml of water to a gentle simmer. Add the juice of half a lemon and 1 teaspoon of cinnamon. Let it cool to about 70 degrees Celsius before drinking. The lemon adds vitamin C while cinnamon contributes additional compounds that support insulin sensitivity, creating a synergistic effect. Guava leaf vegetable broth. In a pot, combine 1 liter of water, 6 guava leaves, 1 cup of chopped spinach, and 1 cup of zucchini. Add 1 teaspoon of turmeric and simmer at about 95 degrees for 25 minutes. Strain the leaves and drink the warm broth. This delivers fiber, antioxidants, and nutrients that support glucose management while providing hydration and nourishment. Daily dosing. The typical recommendation is 250-500 ml of properly prepared guava leaf tea per day. Excessive consumption can potentially cause mild digestive discomfort like nausea or bloating in sensitive individuals. If you're taking glucose-lowering medications, monitor your blood sugar carefully because guava leaves may enhance those effects. If you have kidney disease or are pregnant, consult your healthcare provider before regular use, as concentrated preparations may affect electrolyte balance. The comprehensive effects of guava leaves work across multiple fronts simultaneously. They help lower fasting blood glucose, reduce post-meal spikes, improve insulin sensitivity, protect arteries from oxidative damage, support healthier fat metabolism at the cellular level, and benefit nearly every major organ system affected by metabolic dysfunction. Research suggests fasting glucose may decrease by 10-20 mg/dL, post-meal spikes may reduce by approximately 15%, and A1C may decline by up to 0.5% over time when combined with other healthy habits. The third leaf, mulberry, contains what researchers consider one of the most fascinating glucose-regulating compounds found in any plant, a molecule called 1-deoxynigeromycin, or DNJ for short. But before we get to that specific compound, let me walk you through the full nutritional and biochemical profile of mulberry leaves so you understand why they work. Protein content. Mulberry leaves contain a significant amount of plant protein that supports muscle glucose uptake and insulin receptor activity. When your muscles become more efficient at absorbing glucose from your bloodstream, insulin sensitivity improves and insulin resistance decreases. For many people, this alone can help bring down fasting blood glucose levels naturally without additional medication, and it helps smooth out the post-meal glucose spikes that create long-term vascular damage. Carbohydrate profile. Mulberry leaves do contain carbohydrates, but most of these are complex structures that function more like fiber than digestible sugar. Because of this unique composition, mulberry leaf preparations have an extremely low glycemic impact. Even more interesting, when mulberry leaf extract is consumed alongside high-carbohydrate meals, research shows it can reduce the glycemic index of those foods by up to 50% or more, meaning your blood sugar rises far less dramatically after eating. Fiber content. The dietary fiber in mulberry leaves slows digestion and glucose absorption, preventing your bloodstream from being overwhelmed with sugar all at once. Instead of sharp spikes, your glucose curve remains smooth and manageable, which protects blood vessels and reduces stress on your heart and kidneys. This fiber also feeds beneficial gut bacteria that further improve insulin sensitivity and overall energy metabolism. Antioxidant compounds. Mulberry leaves are rich in flavonoids, phenolic acids, and other polyphenols that function like cellular defenders. These compounds neutralize free radicals that would otherwise damage the endothelial cells lining your blood vessels and promote plaque accumulation. When those free radicals get neutralized, your arteries remain more flexible and clear, which naturally improves blood flow and supports healthy blood pressure. DNJ, 1-deoxynigeromycin. This is the compound that makes mulberry leaves truly unique. DNJ inhibits digestive enzymes, specifically alpha-glucosidase, which means your body absorbs sugar more slowly from the foods you eat. Blood glucose levels rise less sharply, and insulin doesn't spike as dramatically. In human clinical studies, mulberry leaf extract containing DNJ added to a high-sugar meal reduced peak glucose rise by approximately 40% and peak insulin levels by around 40%, demonstrating a powerful ability to blunt glucose